Oh, that's me. Double speaking here. Sorry about that. I always do that when I'm running the video before. Anyway, I'm glad everybody could be here tonight on a special Thursday edition of our College Football Mafia Big 12 Mafia show. I missed last night's, and Moan After Dark, they did a great job. So I really appreciate people being here tonight. I don't know what our numbers are going to look like, but I know we're going to be talking about some fun stuff. We appreciate everybody being here. I am Nathan Bomber Brown, and with me is my co-host on this particular show. That would be Jen Santi. How are we doing tonight, Jen?
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you? I'd love the hat on backwards. You've got it going on tonight.
I do.
My goodness.
I feel dope.
Yeah,
it's been a minute since I put my hat on backwards.
I feel like this is like, hello, fellow young kids. How are you? Right?
It probably is more 8th grade than 53 or whatever. So we appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you take your time to follow us on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, tell your friends and family about us. We're a pretty fun show and like to involve many comments from the gallery. So please, I can't speak tonight. Please feel free to share your feelings in the comment section. We'll try to get to them. I do defer to member comments first, and then I do super chats always, and I try to get to them as fast as I can. Lastly, if you want to become a member, here's the video to show you how to do that.
Want to become a member of the College Football Mafia family? Simply select the Join button from our homepage. There are several options with their own unique benefits to choose from. You can also set yourself to auto-accept gifted membership by selecting the gift settings options as shown.
Thank you very much for Moen for putting that together for me. We are supposed to have Danielle Kelley tonight. I know last week she had some conflict with timing and whatnot. We expect her, I'm hoping sometime soon. I resent her the link, but we do want to delve into Florida State, the latest news. I'm sure you guys even probably know more than me. I was at work today and a little out of the loop, but we want to talk Florida State, want to talk realignment, ACC, ESPN, who is now being referenced in both the college football playoff negotiations and in the FSU ACC suit. So there's really nothing to wait on. Jen, what's going on that you think is most important for people that are watching us tonight?
Well, one, I absolutely couldn't get enough of the ACC's filings where they wanted all of this information redacted from the lawsuit. So I was just dying laughing. Anything that makes us look bad is not relevant or won't become relevant for a couple months, right? So it's hilarious, really. I really don't understand what the ACC is doing. We know they want money, right? I mean, that's obvious. And we also know that contracts are written to be broken. Okay. I just don't understand some of their filings. Like, how do you contradict yourself so much in two different filings in two different states and then expect people to think you have the upper hand? I'm really confused.
So the filings have just continued to stream out from both Florida State and the ACC. It's like it's point counterpoint over and over and over again. In your interactions, and I hope Danielle gets here and can explain in deeper detail, but to you, in all your observations and tracking of the news, are people more on FSU side, sympathetic, or are they ACC?
I think the public is on FSU side. I think this goes, and I'm not trying to make this weird, but I think it kind of goes the way the voting public goes, whether you're voting on like a celebrity that you like, or you're voting on a politician. To me, it's like the media says one thing, we're covering it one way, and the public always votes an absolutely, totally different way. And I think the public is on Florida State's side here. I think the public is on Florida State's side. I think the media is on a totally different side for different reasons.
George has joined the chat. I see him sitting there. George, you want to join the show? I'd love to have you on. Send me a DM, send Jen one, and we'll get you the invite. In fact, Jen, why don't you just shoot him the link?
I can't because my phone is up on the.
Okay, let me do it. I'll do it right now. Everybody loves watching me type on my computer, right? This is what you get.
Sorry
you
about
get
that.
live TV, right? Let me see here. George, I'm going to send you the link. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome. I'd love to have you on. It's been a while, actually. I've been trying to get you. There you go. If you don't have time, that's okay too. Okay.
Yeah, he can't. I think he had dinner with his family tonight.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll catch you eventually, George. In fact, Jen, give him my phone number and have him send me a text when he's got some time.
I sure will. I
would love to talk
will.
to him. Not about this show, George. I want to talk some other stuff. So Jen will give you my cell phone number, and then you can send me a text. All right. I'm a bit late, but let's get to some shout outs. We've got Buckshot Kid is here. Thank you very much. He says, oh, hey, the College Football Mafia. Good to have you here. Buckshot, being a member, that's really cool. That's me, so that doesn't count. Laura Weiss was second. Oh, hey, y'all. And there's a bunch of, what are those, cactus, right? Let's see. Don Scruggs says, what's up, y'all? SEC fan here. Don, I love it. Keep coming. We need to build up that SEC fandom down there. You can be an anchor for me. Help me bridge to that area of the country. I would appreciate it. Jim F says, gig 'em. Don Scruggs says, go dogs, sick 'em. Glenn Lumen, all the way from the Philippines. He says, morning from the Philippines. Everyone is waiting for the ACC train wreck. Is it to anyone's advantage to get it over quickly? Is the day-to-day drama more valuable when strung out? That is a fantastic couple questions. What do you think, Jen?
Is the day-to-day drama more valuable when strung out? Absolutely. Absolutely it is. You always want to leak it. Look, I can say this because we are on a show with two people that watch an extremely amazing reality TV show.
Hey, look, and Vanderpump Rules till I die, baby.
Look. So, like, when you're talking about like reality TV and drama, of course, the leaks, the little drips, that's what keeps you interested. That's what keeps anybody interested in this lawsuit, right? I mean, if it was just automatically done, people would be like, okay, cool. Like, let's watch the live feed of it. And then you're over it until, things change up and then they start making, whatever. But like when you're hearing about the drama, the behind the scenes stuff, honey, that's where the interest is. We want the tea. That's what we want. We want the tea. We want to know who's mad at whom. Look, even sports is as dramatic as reality TV. Let's just be real.
I think you just hit on it. I think they're the exact same. Football 20 years ago was a very bunch of guys in a golf back room, where they're doing their dressing and then getting into their gear, and they're talking with cigars in their mouths. The organization of football was so much different than it is now. Now everybody's living their lives on reality TV. Twitter has turned into, I don't even know what to call Twitter anymore. It used to be just social interactions and fights about Trump. But what is it really now?
I would guess I would use it. So, okay, I can tell you the first time I downloaded the Twitter app, right? I got my iPhone, this is years ago. I'm going to age myself. But like, I'm sitting there and I download the app and it's 2 days later, Steve McNair was killed. And I found out because you see the news first, right? That's what you used to use it for, was just to see the news, scroll across your screen, whatever. Now it's more of like a community. It's more of like a public square where you can talk and like, discuss your weight loss or whatever it is you want to talk about. I get it, but a lot of people just use it for news. And, for me, that's what it is. And I love it because you want to be the first. You want to be the first to see it. You want to be first to repost it, right? I mean, that's what I think Twitter is becoming. Who's going to be first? Who's going to be first?
I think you have it spot on. I think there's maybe even a race just to see
Mhm.
who's first, right? I think that's very accurate. All right, let's keep going. So we got Scott Schrader says, "Good evening, Big 12 Mafia family. Thank you very much for being here, Scott. We appreciate your loyalty." Bill G says, "Good evening," and Georgia Tech. If you don't know what Georgia Tech is, that is our drinking game name for tonight. I'm going to put a message here that everybody can see scrolling underneath our. There we go. So if you hear Georgia Tech, go drink some juice in my case, or whatever liquor you have in the house. Just don't drive. Okay. It's the only thing I care about. No driving.
Please.
Let's see here. Scott Schrader again. Daniel Gygax, I said. Chad Bracey says, "Ready. Preseason champions Ohio. Those gold FSU helmets remind me a lot of the Georgia Tech helmets." Wow. What do you think of that?
Nice. Well, Florida State's has the tomahawks on them,
Right.
which means you've won something. Georgia Tech's are empty. But they did win that huge game last year. So, hey, put yourself a little man kneeling on top of your helmet and let's do it. Right? Let's do it.
Totally agree. I forgot to share this. I got a while back some woodcut things. This is my high school mascot, Richland Bombers in Washington. That's what my hat is, a little mushroom cloud up there. They made it to the state championship game in Washington for basketball. They did lose, but really proud of them. Just wanted to shout out them before I forgot another show.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, well, they're first losers, right? They did a good job to get there anyway. Let's see here. Larry, the GM, says, "Have a great show, folks." Managing these comments is usually for somebody else. There we go.
I know.
Timothy Green says, "Another great show as usual." Jen, you will be a moderator really quick here. So
I can do it.
You will. No, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I just need to give you the access, actually. Chad Bracey says, "I missed it when Bubba Cunningham said FSU should pay $700 million to leave the ACC. That guy is a joke."
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. Tell me who he is.
That is the president at North Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah, Bubba and Boo, which, I mean, if it wasn't a TV show, it should be. It really should be. Bubba Cunningham and Boo Corrigan just screwing up everything in college football. Because if you think about it, look, Boo Corrigan, and I know Florida State was really out of the ACC before the snub happened, but Boo Corrigan really kind of just shoved that on down the line, right? You got Bubba and Boo. You got Bubba out here. It's fine for North Carolina, who hasn't done shit in football in God knows how long, to go try and get out of the ACC, which they established sitting underneath the Western flying trees.
Yeah.
Remember that whole story? It's fine for them to want out, but for Florida State, who actually has done shit, who makes money, who has eyeballs on their program, oh no, they should have to pay. Like, Bubba's over here doing moves behind the scenes, moving like a snake. Everybody knows how they're moving. And this MFer wants to come out here and be like, well, Florida State should have to pay. Well, of course they should have to pay. You need lawyer fees, right? Are you joking with me right now? I can't. I can't.
Really tell us how you feel next time, would you? Quit holding back. All right.
Look, yeah, you go ahead.
No,
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something mean.
Sure,
it's going to be mean. No, it's going to be mean. Look, I think Bubba and Boo should get real names. They should get real jobs. Stop mooching off your parents, because with the names like Bubba Cunningham and Boo Corrigan, which we know Boo Corrigan absolutely got his job off his father's name.
Right.
And actually get jobs. Stop it. Stop being losers. Stop being losers. That's all they are. They want to sit here and they're like, oh, we get paid millions for our conference to be losers. And y'all should just suck it up, bend over, take another spanking and say, can I get another, please, sir?
So I'm going to create a new scrolling. And it's going to be just like I do for Moen and Immaculate. You're going to get your own rant. So everybody knows what's going on when they join the show. Now that it's over, I won't use it now, but it's right there when I want to use it. All right.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. I love it. I love it. It's fine. Okay. Let's move it right along here. Let's get some more shout outs. There's so many cool people here tonight. I really appreciate it. Greg Flugar, the OG of all of this that we're doing right now, is in the house. Good to have you here, Greg. If you want to join the show, you always have an open invite. I know you're very, very busy.
Greg.
I will post, and you don't have to take it. No pressure, but I'm going to send you the link if you want to join us. That's why I think we're successful is we're flexible here, Jen. Do you agree with that?
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's how I first found it. I was like, oh my God, I love y'all's show. And then I said something in the chat and you sent me a DM.
Yeah,
right?
That's how quick. Perfect meets perfect. That's how this works. All right, let's get to some other shout outs. Rock Chalk, one of our members says, hey guys, Two Mast in the house who's still not a member. Two Mast, it's $3.99. That's it. I'm just teasing you. Two Master says ACC Tannic. I believe that. Do you think it's ACC Tannic?
Yeah, look, I don't think they're dead when Florida State leaves.
But I don't either. No.
I think that takes the plug out of the ESPN deal.
Yes. Well,
which makes it dead.
It gives them that bigger window to the public to justify cutting the rate. Right? I think I think the ACC as an entity will stick around just like the Pac-12 as an entity with Oregon State and Washington State. It's just going to have more schools in it. Eventually, they're going to order, in my opinion, Washington State and Oregon State will get invites
to the ACC.
To the ACC once whatever happens in Florida State and everything else occurs. There she is,
my girl.
The girl I haven't been able to catch.
How are you? Good. How are you? I'm so glad to see my girl. I'm sorry, guys. You know me.
There are no forgiveness. It's all over, Danielle. It's good to have you here. I know it's been tough to match up our schedules, but I appreciate you giving us some time. For me in particular, I've had kind of a busy week, so I do feel a little behind on Florida State, ACC, ESPN, and where we are with the negotiations, the point counterpoint tweets that we've seen, over the last several days. For everybody that's watching right now, there's 60 people watching us live. Can you bottom line where we currently are with this whole mess? And take as long as you want.
We have two lawsuits pending right now, of course. The ACC filing first in North Carolina, and then Florida State filing a lawsuit here. And as of right now, what's going on is both sides have moved to dismiss the other's complaint. In North Carolina, Florida State has moved to dismiss. Let me dumb this down for just a second, because everybody's like, explain it to me, like an easier way.
A little. I was going to ask you maybe to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, let's take the North Carolina case first. The ACC filed a lawsuit there against Florida State before we filed our lawsuit here. Right now in North Carolina, Florida State has moved to dismiss their complaint. That's where we're saying, their complaint is invalid. Okay. At the same time, there's another motion pending in North Carolina. The ACC has moved to seal documents relating to the lawsuit. Usually when you file a lawsuit, you attach exhibits, you attach your proof. They're citing, ESPN contracts and stuff like that. They don't want to turn that over right now. So they're moving to seal that. Florida State is also fighting back against that. So on March 22nd in North Carolina, you're going to have two motions heard. The motion to dismiss Florida State has filed against the ACC complaint there, and the ACC's motion to seal the documents there, that Florida State is fighting back against that. Now in Florida, we filed our lawsuit here, of course, after they filed there, and they have moved to dismiss our complaint. What you have seen this week is Florida State's response to support their motion to dismiss in North Carolina, and Florida State's response to the ACC motion to dismiss in Florida.
Okay.
At the same time, there's another process going on in court while we're dealing with motions and stuff like that, there's another process going on in court called discovery. And that's what we've all talked about. Right. That's where each side gets to ask for documents, conversations, ask questions under oath. We call those interrogatories. And Florida State has done that and is asking for some stuff that has definitely gotten everybody's attention. So that's where we are right now.
And sorry, Jen, did you have a question? I should have asked you.
No. I'm listening, and I am
okay.
I'm good.
Everybody's looked forward to this March 22nd date since it was posted last month. I think you and Doug have talked about it ad nauseum about how the process it's complicated for a process, but really the final decisions are fairly simple. It's either there or it's not there. So
yeah.
How much of a resolution will we actually get on March 3rd? And whatever that ruling is, can it also be appealed to another review date?
Yes, it can. How final, and a lot of people have opinions. I know Jen and I could go on rants about Twitter lawyers these days. Right. Yeah, contrary to popular opinion, whatever happens on the 22nd isn't necessarily definitive. Right. Now, if because there's still a case pending in Florida. So if FSU wins, their motion to dismiss, because the key issue in the motion to dismiss in both, vice versa. But the key issue in North Carolina that Florida State is hammering home over and over, you didn't get that vote, ACC, that you needed to get to file suit.
Yep.
If it gets dismissed, if FSU wins on those grounds, and it's twofold because there's a motion to seal too. If FSU wins on those grounds, then the ACC would conceivably have to take the vote to refile the lawsuit. I'm curious to know what the other members would say at this moment. If they had to take
would they want to put more money into a refiling and everything that goes with it?
Right. And you've already heard reports that Clemson's ready to jump off the ledge and has, lawyers gearing up for whatever's going to happen.
Let me interrupt you there really quick, because we've snickered about Clemson since this happened in the second week of December when we all got together for the first time. Like it seemed so ridiculous at the time, but now we're almost 4 months later, and it's still the same mess. It's like you're looking at it, and it still hasn't really been sort of drilled down to its finer details. It's really crazy from a common sense standpoint.
Clemson's always crazy. No offense.
Well, what do you think about these latest leaks they put out about how they're next and they're prepared and they've just been waiting for the ruling and all this stuff, which, by the way, I don't believe any of that.
No,
I think that is all white. That is all smoke.
If you look at what they've done, exactly, because if you look at what Clemson has done overall, they've been very against NIL. I mean, I'm talking football right now. Yep. We know how Dabo feels against all that stuff. Any change is not favored. So, yeah.
What were you going to say, Jen?
Oh, I was just going to say, well, football drives it. We know that.
Yep.
But with Clemson, I think they've been quiet because they didn't have the said wink, wink, nudge, nudge that they needed in order to start running their mouth.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Look, I've said this from the get. The SEC doesn't need Florida State at all.
No.
They don't. I love my Noles. Everybody knows this. This is why I'm coming out of this non-biased. The Big Ten wants Florida State. The reason the SEC would get involved with Florida State is because the Big Ten wants Florida State. This is a brother-sister relationship. I don't want you to have it, so I want it, right? And I'm going to treat it better than you will, right? But nobody at Florida State believes the SEC will treat them the way that they would like after coming out of the relationship they just got out of, right? So I just think this is a big old look for Clemson. I think they may have gotten the wink, wink, nudge, nudge they needed for the Big Ten, because I don't see the SEC taking them unless they want to do like an SEC thing, unless the SEC decided to say, we'll take Clemson because Florida State won't return our calls.
I just find that so hard to believe. In fact, to me,
I know I'm being.
I'm
sorry.
no. The whole thing is a mess. Nothing either of you guys have said is wrong at all. I just think it's so crazy that there are still so many things up in the air after all this time, after all legal stuff is gone. I just come down to the simplest is usually the best answer.
Yep.
And Clemson wasn't out with Florida State at the beginning. They're scrambling now from a perception standpoint. I still don't think they're spending a lot of money on their legal stuff.
I still don't even think they've gotten the full nudge, wink, wink.
Well, I don't think that's coming. Is my point.
Yeah,
I don't think
I agree with you.
I don't think Clemson or Miami have that. If they did, they'd already be out. Now,
Thank you.
Greg Flugar has mentioned he's heard in some of his comments. I want to give credit where credit's due. Greg has said he's seen some report, or at least he's been told some things that Miami has reached out and they're trying to be more active. They did that relatively close to Florida State. That made a little more sense, but I cannot see the Big Ten needing 2 Florida schools, and I cannot see the SEC taking Clemson. So
I could
that's
see
my opinion.
I could see the SEC taking Clemson before I could see them taking Miami.
I don't think they will take Miami either. I don't think they need Miami.
I don't think the Big Ten needs Miami.
Again, I'm not thinking it's going there. That's where Greg was at.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think with the Big Ten, they want in Florida, they want an established brand, and they don't want a private school. So I think that only goes one way, right? I mean, and a school with their own stadium. I mean, we can go down the list. I don't need to do this.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'd be on here for 2 hours, but like,
we don't need to do that. We've talked about that stuff enough.
Yeah, I know. But like, I'm just saying with the Big Ten, I feel for Clemson because again, I'm with you. I think that if Clemson had the full wink, wink, nudge, nudge, they'd be out there with Florida State. They absolutely would. And they don't have it. Because those fans want out of the ACC as bad as the administration does.
So let me just ask Danielle then. The stuff we're talking about, and realignment's obviously next level. It's not directly related to the ACC lawsuit, but it is tangentially attached, right?
Yes.
They're not working in a silo. It's not like it was 20 years ago where this would be a unique event outside of the college football playoff thing, which would be a unique event. Now everything's pushed together. So one decision has so many cascaded after effects. So to you, the mere fact that nobody else has filed and everybody's playing we'll wait and see, which to me it's more panic waiting, just like the Pac-12 did. Who is in the better position from everything that you know right now, Danielle? Is it the ACC, ESPN, or is it still, like I think the three of us believe, Florida State?
Florida State, and I will explain. Jen's right. If Clemson could get, Clemson as a former national champion, like football drives, I've been up there to games. That place is, amazing with football. Anyway, they would be all over this. They don't have the wink, wink, nudge, nudge right now. The whole thing, though, when you look at it overall, is you're going to be really glad that Florida State fans should be really glad that we got out ahead of this when we did, because you are heading into a complete new system, because it is all cannot say that word. You just said it so eloquently. Tangentially. I just got tongue tied. Related, at a point. And that includes NIL, the NCAA, everything. You're heading towards an entire new system. Would Clemson really be okay with, the college football playoff news that has been reported this week and the ACC only getting this amount when they're already in a conference where teams are having to do this revenue sharing thing? Would Clemson, the powerhouse, really be comfortable with that? No. It's all, it is all related back to that point where, I think Florida State took out on the lead. We're taking all the arrows. We're going to, take all the blows and do the legwork for everybody else. But once it's done, it's done. I think the ACC set themselves up for failure, and whatever happens on March 22nd is not going to convince me otherwise.
What do you guys think? And let me this real quick, this comment from Terry Kane, who's a Miami fan. He says, we have a spot. I listen to people who know. Okay, Terry.
Tell us who it is, because I haven't listened to them.
Send me a DM and we'll talk on the backside. I won't expose your people.
Yeah.
I'll keep it all to myself, I promise.
Like, E-Kane fans, y'all got to start letting everybody know and who you're listening to, because nobody else is saying Miami has a spot. I'm sorry. Unless they're like a Miami fan base. I don't know. Nobody I've talked to says that. And, you know, I have a couple good sources here. I'm saying Miami is very far down on the list for both leagues. They're very high on the list for the Big 12, though. Like, sure. I think if you know, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina leave the ACC, I think Miami is definitely going to get an invite to the Big 12 for sure.
Right.
I just right now, I know what Andy Staples, their little conference thingy that he put out, said Miami's going into the SEC. I haven't heard that. I don't see that the SEC feels like they need them. I think the SEC, y'all, I'm going to get killed for this one. I'm going to get killed for it. The SEC would take UCF over Miami.
Wow.
I don't think she's wrong either.
I know
that.
Oh
my gosh, that is crazy.
I'm being seriously. I mean,
that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Is it like
it's the stadium, it's your facilities, it's your enrollment, it's all the thing. UCF's enrollment is huge, guys.
Right.
Enormous.
It's huge. Their on-campus stadium, their everything that they're doing is huge. I'm trying to be honest here, and I know everybody thinks I'm a Miami, you know, hater, which I am. I'm gonna be honest about that. But the truth is, if you looked at Miami right now in a vacuum, not with their 5 rings that they won in 1972. I'm talking about
it wasn't quiet then. I watched.
Yeah, you have to like dust off like the trophies and everything.
That's true.
The truth is, with UCF, with the way they're building, with the way their athletics are going, with the way their baseball, like all the things they're doing, they're way more. Thank you.
They're
way more valuable.
Big 12. They were a good get for the Big 12.
Yeah, it's way more valuable, and yeah,
I agree. We got a super chat here from Tony Lawson, $2. He says, "Sidebar: Wisconsin stinks. Florida State and Clemson to the Big." So he's throwing down the gauntlet and saying both FSU and Clemson to the Big. My prediction has been if they don't go to the Big 10, they're going to end up either in a rump ACC or the Big 12. That's been my prediction from the beginning.
Who? Clemson?
Yep.
I mean,
I just don't see them in the SEC.
I'm worried about Clemson. And I say this because I think their fans are very nice. I think they're so sweet. I think this is not a fan base that is horrendous, you know, unlike some other team, you know, whatever. I feel bad for them because they've really done everything you're supposed to do.
Right. They won 2.
They just did it a little too late, right? Like they just did it too late.
Yeah, they should have started about 2001 or 2002.
Or in the 80s when they were good.
They were also good in the
fine.
80s. I watched those teams as well. Thank you.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Thank you, Tony, for your super chat. Really appreciate it. I want to encourage everybody to do super chats. I read all those no matter what. Otherwise, we go through comments. And yeah, we'll sort of go from there. So Danielle, outside of answering questions, which is kind of what our show is tonight, from people watching, is there anything else that we should know going into the weekend? The one thing that I was hoping to get a little insight in, I'm not sure you've covered it yet because you're so busy, But the look-in provision that now has been basically codified for this new college football playoff negotiation, that look-in provision that will be triggered if there's realignment and or 2028 comes around. And everybody agreed to it. It's kind of the Big 12, Brett Yormark, Big 12, entry. That's the one thing he contributed to the whole negotiation. What do you think about that? I've never heard of a look-in. That's probably a legal term, but is that something you know anything about?
Not as much as you guys do. I mean, I know
Okay.
about the new format and stuff
Right.
in the ACC. I've heard the reports of the ACC and the Big 12 with the kind of, I
Right.
guess, understood. Or wait, I don't know if we're back to gentlemen's handshake agreements.
Yeah, I
and stuff
know
like
it
that.
was something else. Yeah, they called it something else. It wasn't an alliance. It was like a pinky kiss or something. I don't know. It was something stupid.
Pinky kiss. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're going to do that. Yeah, I think that everybody's just kind of adjusting. And I don't know. I mean, I know the ACC said they reported the ACC presidents agreed to this as well. I'm not even
They
sure.
did. That reporting came out late this afternoon.
I'm not even sure Florida State has voting rights because if everybody remembers, the
Yeah.
ACC has moved to
Right.
suspend us from all of that.
Yeah,
So,
and that's done, right? That's a formal. They voted on that, so that's over.
if they vote on anything,
Okay.
which
All
is
right.
like the main
I didn't
crux of
know.
this
I didn't know
lawsuit.
if they could do that after the effect. Like in other words, they didn't kick you out. You left or trying to leave on your own, and they're basically saying no problem. Not really, but they're saying okay, we'll just take your voting rights from you. That's common procedure.
Yeah, and I mean, if
Okay.
you look at the response that Florida State filed in support of their motion to dismiss in North Carolina,
Right.
the exhibits are classic. The ACC writing the letter to Florida State on January 12th, and they're talking about they had this vote after the fact and stuff, and Florida State's responding, well, we weren't notified, and we're still part of the conference. So I think we're not involved at this point. I think that's a foregone conclusion. I think because of the suit, the ACC has made it clear we cannot be trusted. We're bad children.
Of course. I think that's.
We're being punished. We're very bad.
Hasn't that been proved? I think that's been proven. Actually, I don't even think that's a guess anymore. I think people just know that you're troublemakers.
We are.
We are very good troublemakers.
So we are. Let's see, almost 45 minutes in. Let's do a quick reset, please. Let me take away this comment so everybody can see you guys' handles. Do that.
I didn't even put mine on there. I'm sorry.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, I tell you what. Let's do this. I will add them right now. Give me 1 second, and I'll put them in the banners. So tonight with me, we have Jen. Let me do this. Jen, Santi, 1890. Why isn't it 1980, Jen?
I can't say out loud.
Okay, you don't worry about it. It's fine. I was just curious.
What is an address? So I can't say out loud. Yes.
It's okay. No worries.
I have too many weirdos. I'm not about to give it out.
That's okay.
Like, I'm not doing that.
I'm D Kelley 21. I don't know.
Oh, just 21.
before that person gets
sorry.
starts getting tagged by all the Wake Forest law grads.
On Twitter, it auto corrects my errors. So you know how to find them. There's their contact information. You already know how to find me. Make sure you follow us all on Twitter. Turn on your notifications so that you can hear about our posts on Twitter. And then also when our next live show will be on College Football Mafia Network. Tomorrow night, we do have another fabulous Freaking Friday or something. I'm not sure what we're calling it anymore. But it's tomorrow night at 7 Eastern. We invite you to do that. Also, we invite you to make sure you subscribe tonight. Give us a thumbs up. We're doing some good work, I think. And, I need to add one more thing. Renegade Report needs to be on here. I apologize. Also, we have Renegade. Let me get this right. Report 1, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's do that again. There we go. Renegade Report 1. That's the show that Jen's on. When are you on, Jen?
So we are on, I guess also Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Awesome.
Is there a time? Like
usually, okay, so 6 o'clock on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then Sundays are a little flexible. I do have a huge guest that I guess we can announce.
It's up to you. It's on you.
We are going to have Lonnie Pryor on.
Oh, wow.
On Sunday.
How do you keep getting these people? I don't understand. I'm pretty good.
I send DMs and they say yes.
Yeah, you have some advantages that I can't call on, so we won't talk about that. That's really cool. Really appreciate it. And George, you're doing great work at Renegade Report. Love everything you and Jen are doing, and really appreciate it.
George is the brains. I just show up.
There you go. It takes the village. Danielle, really tell everybody what you do and where they can find you and all that fun stuff.
Oh, what do I do?
Everything.
I'm in Tallahassee. I'm a lawyer. I'm a Florida State grad, which has been brought to attention by my Twitter lawyers. Anyway, I am a Florida State graduate. I've lived here my entire life. My father was part of Bobby Bowden's protective detail on the field for the Florida Highway Patrol. My mother
very cool. My
mother worked for the University Attorney's Office before moving on to be a judicial assistant for a federal judge here in Tallahassee. So I just stayed here and went to law school, went the whole way through. I am also the meteorologist on Real Talk 93.3 and Wave 94 in Tallahassee. I will do other shows on there at times as well. Used to have a show with James Coleman, 36 Degrees. We've had a lot of fun over the years doing that and doing sports stuff, and kind of adjusted to the whole 2020 thing, which became more like the stuff you guys are doing. It's so awesome. It's so fun. But that's where I am, and that's where you can find me. I'm very into constitutional law. I'm a contract lawyer. I've done this my whole life. In law school, I was, an intern and worked on the Bush versus Gore case. Constitutional law has always been a favorite of mine, former prosecutor. And handled some big suits in this area. So it's very intriguing to me. And I try to look at it objectively, contrary to popular opinion, because there are always two sides to the story, obviously, or you wouldn't have, offense and defense in a courtroom. So.
Exactly right. We're very grateful you're here. We still have big plans and ideas that we're going to do some more work together. And I think I just want to cue that up for everybody. Always be on the lookout for added shows and things that are more interesting, that aren't just realignment and aren't just college football mafia, college football. Yeah, I can't wait. The future's bright. I really, really appreciate both of you.
Yeah.
Coming on. Ryan Willie, one of our members, $5 super chat, says Tony. He's replying to Tony, I think, in chat. Minnesota lost to Wisconsin last year. Oh, yeah, Tony Lawson. They're going back and forth. Minnesota and Wisconsin. So Minnesota lost to Wisconsin last year. I hope you get comfortable with that, because it'll be a long time before Minnesota wins again. So let's just review that. One Big Ten guy gives me money, right? A $2 super chat, and then Ryan Willie comes down and gives me another super chat. Not talking about anything we're doing, but just arguing with each other. I found that I love that, actually.
I love it. That's what sports fans are supposed to do.
Agreed. I agreed. All right, now we can go through some questions, unless you guys had anything else.
No, but what I will ask Danielle is, are you going to be in town for the spring game?
I am. I will be here. I'm planning on coming to the tailgate. I want to meet Jen. I'm so excited that she's coming.
I'm getting it on Wednesday night.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. I cannot wait to
me
meet Jen.
too.
Yeah, we'll be here.
I'm so jealous. You guys are you're getting warm down there. It's still cold where I'm at, so I'm jealous. Anyway.
Well, I have to let you know, you're going to be a little surprised. I'm very tall. In case anybody doesn't know this.
Okay. I'm very short. I'm one of those people they make fun of, like the memes you see about people having to jump on countertops and stuff.
Me too, but I'm a different one. I am actually 6 feet tall.
Ow.
I think that's fantastic.
I think it's awesome. I think it's
not
awesome.
a lot. There's not a lot of tall girls that are athletic that, I think that's really cool. All right, let's get to some of these comments. We've got so many, and I'm trying to manage them by myself. I apologize if I don't pull yours, but I'm trying my best. All right. Daniel Gygax, one of our members, says, I wonder if FSU is getting their legal team to add that they will make a half of what the SEC and Big and CFP money to their lawsuit. Why
That's
would
a
they
good
do
point.
that?
They amend a complaint,
Right.
or add it to a response to a motion to dismiss, like we filed in North Carolina. That would be a way to bring that back up, because when you go to hearing, you have to argue what you pled and what you've argued already on paper. You can't kind of go outside of that. So you would have to amend and add that. But that's a great point. That's a really great point, because it furthers FSU's argument.
We have got some amazing people in our viewership. It's absolutely incredible. I put our viewership up against anybody, even people that 600 and 700 people. The smartest people come to our shows. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Do you want to add anything to that, Jen?
No, I think it is a great point. I think, I think that is something that Florida State is actually really driving home, is the fact that they don't make the same money as Vanderbilt. Are you kidding?
The equity or the inequity right now in college football is absolutely broken. But this is something I came across today in my head, because I'm a smart guy. I just realized that the Big Ten, to get the big football contract, which they saw a long ways down. Bob Thompson worked on it like 12, 13 years ago with the Big Ten Network and stuff. They were projecting in themselves saying, we know football on TV is going to be the thing, not basketball. They made a strategic decision to do everything football, no basketball. Now, when all the Big Ten teams you got Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan State, none of them are good. They've all been starved of resources and money just to get where they are in the money side for football. And it was a strategic decision. They actually sat in a room and said, you know what? We know more money is going to be on the table for football in the future. We're willing to starve these other programs to get there. And I think that's crazy. They could see that in the future.
In a really weird scenario, the ACC kind of did the opposite. And
I agree. They went all in way too early on basketball.
Yeah,
I agree
and
with that
it was
100%.
And they just decided to ride on Florida State and Clemson to drive the football revenue. And so
I don't get it myself.
By all means, don't make Notre Dame join. We got that.
Yeah, they're an interesting.
I mean, I guess they pretty much are, because they've been getting payouts when they weren't supposed to get the payouts.
Right.
Yeah, and they get how much of this new college football?
It hasn't been stated yet. We don't know.
This is gross. And again, this goes back to what I was saying. Danielle, tell me if I'm wrong here. Okay, tell me if I'm wrong. You're the attorney. I only had, 2 years pre-law. Okay, I'm nowhere close to you. I'm just saying, okay, so with Florida State, right? They want to say that you can't. Oh, Lord. Let me word this better. Okay. So they want Florida State to sit here and not have everything that they're supposed to get from the conference, but the conference also wants to say everything that we're doing against our fiduciary duties, you can't bring into the lawsuit because it makes us look bad.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that is exactly it.
I've never seen anything like this.
I've never understood it either. It doesn't make any sense.
It is crazy. And I mean, I've got all the pleadings, that have been filed this week, and Florida State is calling them out repeatedly on their hypocrisy on all of this. I mean, it's like snarky legal sarcasm, and I love it.
I love every minute of it. Yeah. I feel like we're back in Ally McBeal. Right? Yes. Like if anybody ever watched Ally McBeal, that's what I feel like we're watching, is Ally McBeal. Because, all their lawsuits were very snarky and very chippy. If you ever watched it, you'd know. If you know, you know. Yeah. But I just with the ACC right now, this does feel like Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, it is absolutely Mean Girls.
It's Mean Girls.
It is
that's
absolutely, and it's Mean Girls, the seniors picking on the freshmen. I mean,
And by the way,
imbalance is crazy.
I get called Regina George all the time, and I'm fine with it. All I'm saying is,
own that, Jen.
love
Own
Jen.
it. Own it.
like,
Own it.
I'm absolutely fine with it. Y'all call me Regina George all you want to.
I think that's
If you think I'm bitchy, it's just because you said something stupid and I called you out for it. But like, I just with this whole thing, these idiots want to sit here and be like, oh wait, we said something dumb. Don't include that in discovery because it makes us look bad. That's literally all I'm reading.
And not only that, the fact that, and if you read, I can't remember, I'm getting them all confused at this point, the response in North Carolina we filed or Florida, where Florida State's like going through the ACC pleading and like, you've already admitted you didn't take a vote according to your own bylaws. You've already admitted you didn't have standing to bring the lawsuit. You've already admitted, all the way through, they're calling them out for it. And it's hilarious. I'm like, why would they even plead? And, you've admitted that you did all these things, and the ACC's only defense is to say it wasn't material litigation. Suing one of your main universities in your conference on behalf of your members who drives your revenue, who you have been cheating and doing stuff behind the scenes, was not material litigation worthy of a vote. If it wasn't, then why did you go back and get the vote allegedly in January?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So are they going to be able to get away with this? Because are they going to be able to go back and take a retroactive vote? Because supposedly the vote happened in January.
Yeah. Here's the thing about this, and I brought this point up on Twitter the other night. This is where, because I've explained my constitutional law background. I've also taught it in college here at TCC. When the Constitution is important to me, obviously, we take an oath, we swear that we're going to uphold it objectively. I don't care what little Twitter lawyer you are coming at me on Twitter. Let me explain. Precedent carries down to different areas of law. I'm looking at this. Take it completely away that it's FSU related. Take it completely away that it's anything to do with college football. If you say that you're allowed to go back and cure a procedure that you were supposed to follow to file suit, to have standing, that's what lawyers say, standing. Let me explain standing really quick for the viewers. I don't get to sue Walmart right now because I think I'm going to fall tomorrow in their store. I don't get to do that. I have to have an actual concrete injury. I don't get to sue if Jen falls. I have to sue the proper party, or the proper party has to be sued, is what I'm saying. I don't get to do, in the ACC and Florida State's calling them out for it over and over and over. You didn't have standing. You didn't follow your proper procedures whatsoever. You're not even suing the proper party. The president signed the grant of rights, not the board of trustees, who is the contracting agent for the university in the state of Florida.
Right.
And the ACC, I mean, the arguments just get more and more asinine, even to when you get to venue. That they have, proper venue in North Carolina, because even though Florida State and Miami, even though they're $1 billion corporation doing business with Florida State and Miami, they're not technically doing business in the state of Florida. It is insane to me, the stuff they argue. So if you're looking at it objectively, that passing, that motion, and a judge, because Florida State's throwing their own state law all over them in their response and saying, you're wrong. You are wrong. You have already passed cases where this is wrong. Can you imagine, a precedent carrying down saying you don't have to have standing? You get to go back and come up with probable cause after the arrest. You get to go back and, like I said, I'm going to sue Walmart because I think I'm going to fall tomorrow. You don't get to do those things. I know I'm oversimplifying this situation, but you just don't get to. It's dangerous because we do cite these kind of cases in other areas of law. So it's not, to win. So, I don't know. That's my rant. It pisses me off. Sorry.
I need to make a rant button for you too. Jen, you made the way point earlier. Everybody that's on this show has a rant button except for me.
I need a rant button. I will get on one. But...
Being the boss, I can kind of control that stuff. So anyway, here's another super chat from Ryan Willie. Thank you so much, Ryan. You are, boy, dedicated viewers. Your $5 will always be valuable to us. He says, with the CFP almost a done deal, and that's true. Latest reporting shows that it is getting closer. How long before Notre Dame joins the Big or the SEC? I don't think they'd ever join the SEC, but there is some. There's got to be gravitational pull to the Big Ten right now, isn't there?
I honestly, I think it could be 2 years.
Really?
I do.
Well,
I do
to
because
actually leave or to announce they're leaving.
Announce.
Okay.
Because I think it's getting too strong. I think it's getting too, with Notre Dame, and I get it. Notre Dame, we've had all the sports announcers being like, no, they're not overrated. No, they're not this. Okay. We've got it, guys. We've got it. You guys have your favorites. We know where you went to journalism school. We've got it. But the fact is, Notre Dame gets crushed in every playoff game they've ever played. They haven't won a championship since 1993 when they had to share it.
It was 88. And
I thought they had to share one.
Nope.
They did with Michigan, if memory serves.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't? I thought they did.
1980.
Oh.
Look, I'm an old person.
Okay.
and
I
hated
they did
Notre
in 92.
Dame.
Okay, cool. Hey, I'll take it.
They are only 4 years newer than BYU is. Think about
this. Makes my troll even better. Makes my troll even better.
Yeah.
Because I mean, my God, I make fun of Miami all the time. The last time your team was relevant, the Bigfoot pizza was the absolute meal on Friday nights, guys. That was your meal. Blockbuster was popping. It was crowded. Everybody was there. They were going to TCBY. We get it. We are here. We all were there. We got the strawberry yogurt, all the things in the 80s, right? We got the soft serve. Like, we were all there. But you guys haven't done a damn thing except for lose on the national stage. If you need to go to a conference, then you need to do it. Otherwise, I would prefer you guys to stay independent. I enjoy making fun of you. I enjoy you guys being irrelevant. I love it. The only way Notre Dame can become relevant again and start winning championships is if they join a conference. I'm sorry.
And
they're not going to do it without it.
You're definitely heading into that territory now with everything that's going on. So that's a great question. But I'm with Jen. I think they've been a holdout. They wanted to stay independent bad enough. The ACC could have forced them in 2020 when we went conference only. They could have done whatever they wanted to them, and they didn't do it.
ACC impressing nobody.
No, they're not. Unless
the mere fact that they gave them a full vote.
When they weren't supposed to. When they weren't supposed to.
They weren't connected to the conference.
Yeah.
It's so. There's a follow-up from that. Preseason champions, oh hi ho. Thanks for being here, preseason. He says Notre Dame has been joining a conference for the last 70 years, and that's true. I'll believe it when I see it. I think that's bottom line. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, but I do think if Notre Dame ever wants to be relevant again and win actual national championships, they're going to have to join a conference. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I'm also sorry, you're going to have to lower your academic standards or do something else, like move your campus. I don't know what else to do. Not a lot of people want to go, go to school at a church. I don't know. I'm a Catholic too. So again, I'm not hating on the Catholics. I'm a Catholic. I'm just saying, like, nobody
Catholic
wants
people
this.
are good people. You be nice.
Of course, I'm a Catholic. Like, we're great. I mean, in some aspects, not all of them. But like, you don't want a priest to watch your kid. I get it.
Oh wow!
Gosh,
that is a deep cut. Did you just really do that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh, that is.
Look.
We're not. You know what's going to happen? This video is going to get flagged by YouTube. They're going
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I'm
that was a
teasing.
joke. That was someone else in the background that said it.
I'm teasing. I'm just
Always,
saying, Catholic Church and children, we stay away from those generally on the show. I'm just
My
a
bad.
guide. It's okay.
Hey guys, I'm Catholic. I can say it.
Of course.
I've been through catechism. I've done it. I've done all the things.
All right, let's move on to some more comments. Poor Jen has me rolling on the floor. Tony Lawson dives in with another $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Tony. He says Fielding Yost opposed Notre Dame to the Big, and that was hundreds of decades ago. It's true. It goes back a long ways. There's a lot of discord and history between the Big Ten and Notre Dame, but I think eventually they will see the light. And I mean that in the total religious way. They will see the light. Yeah.
So I get it. Like he says, why would NBC want Notre Dame to join a conference? They're paying them $60 million per year. Yeah, you're paying them and they don't win a championship. That's why Notre Dame would want to join a conference. A championship would bring much more money.
Right.
Like if Notre Dame went to the college football playoffs and actually came home with a championship, which we all know will never happen, ever.
It'll be a while, I think.
Longer than that. I think I would say I'm going to be dead before that happens, but that's fine.
All right.
It's just like, this is so ridiculous that Notre Dame still wants to sit outside and be like, oh, look, we're great, but you're not.
And the news about that came out, I know that's been tabled about the 10% with the college football playoff thing.
They have talked about that. That's still.
I was livid.
Yeah.
That is absolutely, and everybody wants to talk about this is ruining college football. That's ruining college football. Right. That kind of stuff is ruining college football. That's what you need to be worried about, not NIL.
I totally
you
agree.
need to be worried about that kind of stuff.
That is so upside down, the way that they built the original contract. Instead of it being a performance bonus, it was a show up and go to work bonus, and will maybe throw you a tip at the end of the day. It's in no other business in the world. And I know business a little bit. No other business in the world I would see that ever flying. I don't know how they got that done.
What you just said, and that's why when I was trying to say tangential, I can still can't
tangentially.
God, because I talk so fast, I can't say these big words. How everything is related. What you just said is exactly what Justice Kavanaugh wrote in the Alston opinion when the Supreme Court hammered the NCAA over NIL, and and he said, in no other business model in America would this be legal. Right. And we're running into the same argument with what we're doing now with conference realignment, with the college football playoff. And that's why I keep saying, keep going back to that word, antitrust. It's going to keep smacking these people. So you can get on Twitter and complain, NIL is ruining college football, or this is ruining college football, or that. No, these people who set up a house of cards that was always going to fall legally. Always. They're the ones you need to go talk to. The NCAA, the college football playoff, the big networks. Those people, go talk to them. They did.
I also think that when you get into the grant of rights conversation, that was always another house of cards that was going to fall, because there is no Supreme Court, whether federal or state, that is going to uphold a $500 to $700 billion.
Million.
It's just not going to happen. The point of a contract is not for it to be something that makes you go broke or ruins your life. That is not the point. And by the way, contracts are made to be broken. That's another thing people don't understand here. So for Florida State to want out, everybody is so angry at Florida State, which, by the way, Clemson's jumping in. I don't see the hatred there. That's fine. I'll keep moving on. But Florida State's doing what they need to do for them.
Right.
And look what happened to them this year. I think they're making the right decision. I think anybody that thinks they aren't is biased. I think they enjoy the money that Florida State provides for the conference, because I don't think they're SEC fans. I don't think they're Big Ten fans. These are the ACC fans that are like, they don't have a landing spot. And I get it. I'd be upset too if I was a Boston College, Wake, Duke,
Right.
fan.
Yeah.
Those
I
are always
understand.
the people that come for us too on Twitter.
Well, look, Stanford and SMU fans have been very rowdy.
Yeah, well, I don't pay them much mind, to be honest. Laura Weiss, a member, says these comments. Most of these are from a way ago, so you'll have to forgive me. Cheers, Georgia Tech drinking game. Hoping everyone in the Midwest and Southeast make it out okay with severe weather. Did you guys have tornadoes?
I'm about to get one. We've had. She just said it's Little Rock's about to be hit soon. Look,
Okay.
I live in Memphis. We get hit all the time. Okay.
Okay.
When the tornado sirens go off, I'm like, woo, let's do it.
Party ball. Turn on the music. Let's go. Rock Chalk 94, another member, says, hey guys, Two Mastas in the house. Good to see you, Two Masta. Got to get that membership logo, man. FSU has detractors in all corners. Do you guys feel you're really the black sheep right now in the Southeast?
Hell yeah.
Yes. We've been the black sheep. We've been the black sheep since 93.
Yeah, I would think actually you could make an argument. Florida State, especially when they were independent, a lot of people looked at you that way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and then joining the ACC. I mean, we were the black sheep in the ACC. Like, right. It's been going on since, what, 93, Danielle? Like, what do you think?
No, I agree. I think it, and honestly, growing up, it feels like it always was that way.
Yeah.
Because you have to, like, when we were independent and what you said, and going back to that point, Florida State was the one that decided to play every SEC team they could on their schedule. And
Nebraska, Ohio State too, and Michigan, and all these schools.
Oh, yeah. Michigan State. We were everywhere.
They said, bring it. Bring it.
We'll bring it. Bobby Bowden's motto was, well, if they won't come here, I'll just go beat them there. And he started doing it. And then they got pissed off. And that's when Auburn paid us not to play them one year. I mean, it was, we were always that person.
Well, if you guys had a kicker during the late 80s and 90s, you'd have like 7 championships.
Well, when I did an interview with Coach Bowden about that, he became really dedicated to kickers after that. Then after that, we were like smashing Giantina Cal.
I bet he did.
Okay, Danielle, can I tell you a story?
Yes.
So in 93, the Nebraska-Florida State game.
Yes.
When they had to bring the team out to re-kick. I'm young. I'm a child. I am a child. They kick it. Florida State wins, right? I jump on my dad's back. He throws me off. I fall and break my elbow. It was crazy because it was just right at the same time, right? You jump on his back. Right. He's freaking out. It was a whole thing.
Bad timing. Yeah.
Anyway, I go to the hospital and they're like, did something else happen to you? I was like, no, I just want to go home and celebrate my team winning a national championship. Why the hell are you keeping me here for so long?
We've been mad about kicking. I mean, and that was part of the thing. Like what Jen, I love this. I hate that story because you got hurt, but I love it. That was the thing a lot of people didn't understand back then. We were playing Florida and Miami every year, and you had to look at the top 5. All 3 of us were often in the top 5. The winner of those games would often determine who went to the national championship so we were always, the black sheep. The only good news is Miami would behave the way Miami would behave. I mean, the most penalized team in college football history, if you ask me. I think all the penalties we have now are partly because of those days.
I think it's makeup calls. Yeah.
Makeup calls. I think that's why we're coming up with all that stuff. So we got to push that off on them. And then that was the only time I remember us feeling like the choir angels when, it was around Miami.
I've never felt like a choir angel, but I'll take it.
You guys have always been good in my book. Let's get to some more comments here. Ryan Willie again says below deck. So we can talk reality here for a second. So Vanderpump Rules has to be number 1. Below deck, I think is pretty
Danielle,
strong.
Do you watch reality?
No, I mean,
she's
not really.
Busy. She doesn't have
you're too busy.
She's an actual adult. Yeah.
No.
Job and stuff.
Wait, what is it? No.
Below Deck, these are just reality shows that are
We
on
watch
Bravo.
reality shows, Danielle. We are
I
immature.
need a new recommendation because I'm done
Vanderpump Rules. Vanderpump Rules.
And go back and watch from the very first episode.
Yes.
The whole thing.
Okay. No, I'm in because I just got done watching.
All right.
Like, several series.
It will take over your life.
Which series did you just get done watching?
I honestly, people like got me to watch, you know, I'm really weird with shows. I don't know. I like all kinds of different stuff. People got me to watch the show Manifest. And I had never seen Suits.
I love Manifest.
That's the plain one, right?
That show was so good. And then I will confess, not so long ago, I just watched Suits for the first time.
We fell in love with Suits just recently too on Netflix.
So I finished.
Meghan Markle is not my thing, so I just can't do it.
I need to create a new one here. I'm going to create a new banner. This is going to be the reality show.
I need the name of that so I can.
Is
Vanderpump Rules. You have to watch Vanderpump Rules.
But I'm warning you, it will take your life over. That's all I'm saying.
It will. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start watching all the podcasts of Vanderpump Rules.
I don't do that. That's
me neither.
Jen watches every podcast there is.
I do.
But she does it so we don't have to. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Let's get back to some comments. Let's see. RockShock94 says FSU is ACC Colorado, meaning the one school that would break everything wide open. And I absolutely right, RockShock, you are spot on. That's not news for you. I know we've talked about that for a while, but you're 100% right. Big Lubbock says hello. Thank you, Big Lubbock. Joaquin Morales, another member, says greetings, college football mafia family. Smash that like button. I would appreciate everybody smashing the like button, following us on Twitter, turning on your notifications so you know when our shows are around, and then become active and consider being a member of the Big 12 Mafia family. Let me run that video. It tells you exactly how to do that.
Want to become a member of the college football mafia family? Simply select the Join button from our homepage. There are several options with their own unique benefits to choose from. You can also set yourself to auto-accept gifted membership by selecting the gift settings options as shown.
And I apologize. I should have been saying College Football Mafia. That's the parent. Everybody get used to it. But Big 12 Mafia is where we started, so I kind of revert sometimes. Okay, so thank you very much, Joaquin. Appreciate it. David Floyd, who's been a member, I believe, but isn't right now. The CGP distro is absolutely horrible. Is that the college? Do you know what that means? Mm-hmm. I need immaculate. I don't know what that acronym means.
I probably should. Immaculate would know. Immaculate.
Yeah, he would. He's so good at that. The college. I don't know what that means. Yeah, repost it. I'll look for your comment, David. Tell me what that means, because I want to know what's truly horrible. To be honest with you. But thank you for the comment. Let's see. Illini Ted, one of our members, says, what is ideally the best the ACC can hope for at this point if they survive? What brands would stay and try to rebuild? Well, that's variable, obviously. There are some opportunities for the ACC to stay together, for one. I think that would be the preferred. They would bring in maybe bring in like a Memphis, a UConn, Oregon or Washington State, and they would survive. There's also the idea that Notre Dame becomes a full member, sort of drives that. Now they're the boss of the ACC, and then they're fine, and they'll be making the same money as Big 12. Or there's the Armageddon scenario, and if that happens, you're going to lose all the top brands, the top 7, North Carolina State, Virginia Tech, Pitt. I know I'm going to miss one. I always do. Miami. Let's see, Miami, North Carolina State,
Duke, maybe.
Duke is on the limit. It's right on the line.
It's right on the line.
I know I'm missing one. Clemson. So yeah,
This
if
is
those
a-
schools leave, then the conference is pretty much just above a G5. It'll still be probably a P4, but it will not get nearly the money that the Big 12 does.
No, it'll be the +1.
Right.
The
Right.
the three conferences and the +1.
Yeah,
Which
I
it
agree.
should be. Which it should be. I mean, and I'll be, because Jen will say it for me, because I never like to. Well, it's not that I don't like to say the word. They've treated us like the side chick forever.
Right.
So
Yep.
they would become the side chick of college football. That's fine.
Well, it's got to be.
Plus,
I mean, somebody has to be the side chick.
somebody has
What's
to be the side chick.
the
Go
best
ahead,
thing
Jen.
the ACC can hope for is that Notre Dame fully joins, and they're not going to.
Right.
The fact of the matter is Clemson's going to go, North Carolina's going to go, North Carolina's going to go to the SEC, Clemson's going to go. I don't. I think right now they're going to go to the Big Ten, but I don't know for sure. I don't. So I think the ACC is about to lose their cash cows. Well, they're losing their big cash cow in Florida State.
Yes.
If they lose Clemson, that ruins them. They lose North Carolina, it's over. I think it's over when Florida State goes. But again, that's just me.
Very good. Appreciate it. All right, moving right along. This is from Greg earlier. I'm sure he's signed off by now. But he answered the question. We were talking about North Carolina's athletic director, and there's his last name is Cunningham.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Greg, for that. Appreciate it.
Bubba.
Timothy Green again says, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. I need to make you a moderator or something, Timothy Green. You're a stud. Send me a DM and I'll talk to Moen and see if there's a way we can give you access to administer that.
What did Greg say about Bubba though? Because I maybe I missed it. Because Bubba Cunningham, he came out with a statement that said Florida State should pay $700 million billion.
No, all he did was say that's his name. We were talking about what his name was.
Okay.
I asked the question. He was just answering the question.
Okay.
Ryan Willie says with PATC, that is peek around the corner. Greg Flugar at Flug Empire. Saying that the CFP deal being done, how long before Notre Dame moves to a conference? Just guess. Just make a guess, if ever.
I'm going to go with Jen. I say 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 years. There you go, Ryan. I don't have a guess. I think it will be in the next 8 years.
I think that because there's so much upheaval going on that they're gonna have.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. Chad Bracey, one of our members, says the Big Mountain today referenced a segment of FSU's latest filing that states that access to the requested documents would allow Florida State to demonstrate fraud committed by the ACC. Can you expound on that, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm assuming we're talking about footnote 4, and this would be in the filing that FSU filed in response to the ACC motion to dismiss here in Tallahassee in Leon County.
Okay.
So in footnote 4 of that pleading, that's just our response to the ACC motion to dismiss here in Tallahassee. They're talking about, the votes and everything that's going on and the lack of getting the 2/3 vote. They're talking about Jim Phillips. They're talking about all kinds of stuff in this. And they're talking about specifically the 2/3 vote that was required for material litigation. And they write this footnote that says this deception suggests that perhaps the true purpose for hiding the ESPN media rights agreements and making them difficult for members to see to enable the ACC to distort, if not misrepresent their actual terms, not just to their own members, but to this court and the world writ large.
Wow. That is throwing nails.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I told you I could just read this
fiery.
stuff over and over. Florida State is calling everybody out for everything they've done, and that's why getting to discovery is so dangerous. I do not want you guys to settle.
I want this thing to go to the bitter end, and we get to see all the correspondence. We get to see. I would love that. And by the way, you win at the end and don't have to pay anything. That would be the biggest win.
I mean,
we got to get somewhere.
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, I was going to say, I agree. I love the petty. Like, this is my favorite thing in the world. But I want Florida State to get out, and I want them to get out cleanly, and I want them to get out before Miami and Clemson, because it's just going to be even more beautiful when that happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, let's just get it done. Pay the money. I'm not saying pay the money. I'm saying let's just get it done.
I think that's fair. Yeah, let's move to another comment here. Let's see. Kyle Visser says, regardless what anyone says, North Carolina steers the ACC. Florida State is a valuable first mate. I would actually put that a little more in context, saying the ACC is in fact in North Carolina. That's where it's located.
Yep.
The political center of gravity is definitely in North Carolina, but Florida State has been the brand of the conference since they joined.
Yeah.
That's bottom line. So
we built the conference.
Both things can be equal at the same time, right? North Carolina could be uber powerful, but they're cashing checks.
But they're still a little meaningless.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Kyle. Appreciate your comment. Another one from Rock Chalk. He says Carolina runs ACC until SEC calls. There you go.
I agree.
Pretty much. That's where we're going with that.
Timothy Green says, without all this drama, what would we have to talk about every now and then about on college football? Oh, boy.
I guess Nick Saban being a hypocrite. Can we talk about
that? I want to get into that. I want to get into
You want to talk Nick Saban for a couple minutes?
I could. What? Did you finally read the article, Nathan? Did you read it?
I saw it last night. Yeah. Is there a new one today?
No, but I mean, the media is absolutely covering for him, being like, oh, he's not a hypocrite. The hell he's not, okay? He is absolutely a hypocrite. This man is making $15 million a year and then whining about 18-year-olds making $100,000 a piece. Are you kidding me? I'm not doing this with you, Nick. I'm not doing it with you. You are upset because you were illegally paying kids for years. And finally, other teams got to come in and, partake in everything. And then they were like, and then he says, oh, these kids are just they're just too emboldened now because legally they get paid. And I don't get to screw them behind the scenes anymore. Are you joking with me? Sir, I don't need this from you. You made so much money. I really don't need this from you. I don't.
So I'm torn right now. I've got the Jen rant button, right? But I've also got the topic I'm trying to highlight here. So I'm trying to decide how I can show all these different things. I love it, Jen. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What do you think, Danielle?
He's right. He was doing this crap for years and now
years.
That's why Dabo was also saying, "Oh, this is all ruining college football," because you're not going to be able to get away with it anymore. The playing field is level now. It's level.
That's why they're mad. That's why you're mad.
That's why you're mad. That's why you're mad because everybody can participate in this now. Not only that, the kids that you were taking advantage of get to make the money and meanwhile, coaches get to leave and jump ship for every. We went through that with Jimbo and TMU back in the 75.
Did y'all hear when he said in that speech, these kids don't have anybody around them and they can't understand the contract? Why don't you just call them stupid, Nick? Just call them stupid. I am so over this. They are not stupid. They just want the same money that your ass is getting. And the fact that you get to get up and leave your program when you decide to leave without getting punished.
Thank you.
They are the ones who bring in the money to the said program.
Yep. And they're the ones working their behinds off. And,
and not just working their behinds off, getting injured, losing family members. Most of them can't even keep girlfriends or wives because they're constantly at the football field. Tom Brady lost his wife. Are you joking with me, Nick? Are you kidding? I'm over this. I'm over it.
I'm here for this because
this topic is not going away. He's not gonna quit talking. So,
they're gonna go.
Well, of course not, because the news and everybody else just gives him this exalted position.
Yeah.
When this MFer was making $15 million a year and wants to tell a 19-year-old who's bringing in all the money for his program, wow, you're being greedy.
Yeah, and
that's nice.
You're going to take your time to go whine to Congress to pass a law to overturn a Supreme Court decision.
By the way, Congress is more hated than lawyers. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking? Congress couldn't be more hated. And so what? You want to get them on your side? Oh, good idea. Oh, wait. Maybe the media could get on your side. That would make it more interesting. Not really.
Jim Phillips was there too, by the way, for what that matters.
Yeah, there's a question. Does anybody feel sorry for Jim Phillips?
Fuck no.
He was the one who came up with the idea for the alliance. So
yeah. The gentleman's handshake.
Yeah.
But no.
Sorry.
This conference is going into court fighting over contracts being signed or not signed while they're out there, shaking hands and forming new agreements, and then they're asking courts to determine that stuff is contract that aren't. I could go on and on. The most idiotic crap I've ever seen. Anyway,
so this show is different than all my other shows.
I'm sorry.
Me and Jen together are.
It's okay. I love it. All right, Timothy Green, a member, says, without all this drama, what would we have? Oh, we already did that. Sorry, Timothy. Let's do another one. Kyle Visser says, Timothy Vanderpump Rules or the Kardashians. I don't know.
Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, I don't know anybody watches Kardashians. You don't watch Kardashians.
Nobody watches the Kardashians anymore. Yeah. Nobody does.
I think I'm going to start with Vanderpump Rules. I'm going to start there.
Ma'am, good recommendation.
We have to talk. I need you to get to I'm probably going to get to season 10.
Yeah, there's nothing to skip. You can't. You have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, you got to watch.
I'm a binge watcher. I'll be done with it in 2 days. That's the thing.
It's like 12 seasons, and there are many episodes. So you won't make it through in 2 days.
No, you will. I did.
All 10 seasons
are a lot alike.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
That's crazy talk.
She'll get through it.
Preseason champion says Big Ten has added USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon, Maryland, Rutgers. Regional pairs is a real theme. Yes, I don't think anybody denies that. And Florida State / a travel partner. We'll just throw in Clemson. It makes sense. Right?
That's been the safe bet so far.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
I'm torn on that.
I don't know that Florida State needs a travel partner. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, if they do need one, I don't know that it's going to be Clemson.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be Clemson either. So.
Yeah, I wish it would be Clemson. And here we go, guys. Here we go. Get your drinks ready. I can totally see it being Georgia Tech.
She's not wrong. Me and Jen agree on too much. And I'm not just saying it because I'm on the show with her and I love her and stuff like that.
Right.
Mean it makes sense. I think Immaculate has already brought it up and explained it a lot too. It makes sense.
Yes.
Or was it Moen? I can't remember.
No, usually it's Immaculate. It might have been Moen, but it sounds like something Immaculate would say.
It makes sense. It logistically makes sense.
It really does. Florida State is not going to sit here and hype up Miami coming with them. I can totally see them going let's do Georgia Tech. I'm sorry, guys. I know this from the administration, from the school. I think Georgia Tech is a perfect one for them. That is a recruiting hotbed for Florida State. I know Miami is too. I get it. But Florida State doesn't want to bring in their biggest rival with them when they're about to just lap them in money.
I think.
Are you kidding?
If it's in reality, not dealing in fantasy, if we were really talking about who's going to move with them, I don't think it's going to be Clemson. I've already said that. I think Clemson's going to be an orphan.
Yep.
Unless they arrange something, which could happen. I do think Georgia Tech is the one that would. They're too easy of a pick.
Well,
What?
and Jen raises.
You agree with me now?
No, I don't think I ever disagreed with you. I might not have all played it out. Georgia Tech has been talking about on our shows for a long, long time.
I know. I know.
Part of the drinking game, right?
She's always raised the best point because people look at North Florida and they think Florida. And you know, you are South Alabama, you are South Georgia. I live closer. Literally, I'm in Northeast Tallahassee. I am 20 minutes from Thomasville, Georgia. You look at the players that have come to Florida State from Georgia. Let's just go back to Charlie Ward for a second and then go through the history of us recruiting South Georgia. Go through that. Even Kenyatta Watson.
You said Charlie Ward.
Yeah, even Kenyatta Watson, who was on our staff. I think he's now with Georgia Tech, who I love. When, we interviewed him when he was the All-America director, for Under Armour. And he said Florida State was at their best when they were recruiting South Georgia. Well, we've gotten back to that. So Georgia Tech makes the most sense right now, given the footprint we're in. There is no reason to include Miami.
I don't see Miami being their travel partner. I don't. Because I'm not even saying Florida State will have a choice. I think the Big 12 president or the Big 10 presidents will have more of a choice. And I think Fox will too. But I think Fox's choice would be Miami or Clemson, right? I think the Big 12 presidents would be Georgia Tech because they check every single box you need. Every single one.
Well, they're AAU, right?
Yes.
And they meet all the academic standards. They have very high what is it, to acceptance, right? They have very high standards to actually be accepted to the school. So I just think they're just going to get lucky. They're like UCLA. UCLA was not the best athletic move. That would have been Oregon or Washington. But UCLA came along because it was just too easy not to take them. They don't even care if they're good. I promise you, they don't even want them to be good.
No, and I think it's also almost a olive branch to say maybe a Florida State when someone else wanted to take Miami. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I do think Florida State would take Miami at the end of the day, right? I don't think that would be some sort of an issue. But I think Georgia Tech makes so much sense and nobody is talking about it.
I'm with her. I agree.
But
I've only heard from, the usual sources I hear from that you guys all hear from too, that say Georgia Tech is way more in play than anybody realizes. And I think it's for the same reason I'm saying this to you right now. I think Florida State going, Notre Dame is not leaving independent right now. If Notre Dame would leave independent right now, Florida State, Notre Dame, Big 10, it's all done. Or if North Carolina can make themselves available without NC State, North Carolina, Florida State, done. Done.
It's going to be that sneaky. It's going to be that sneaky.
It's going to be a sneaky link. That's what you got. You got your sneaky link making their way in.
Yep, exactly.
We will find out. I know that. This won't be hanging much longer. Big Lubbock, one of our members, says if the Virginia AG blocks the SEC taking UVA, and just to catch everybody up, Virginia's got a law that ties the two schools together, Virginia Tech and Virginia. If one moves, the other one has to be commensurately given money. I'm not sure how you say that.
So the same as UNC and
Yeah,
NC
North
State.
Carolina,
Yeah.
North Carolina State,
Yep.
same thing. So if they blocked it, then they're saying Sankey would take Clemson and UNC to the SEC. The UNC I think is a fine one. The Clemson to ACC of all, or SEC of all the possibilities, that's the weakest one I think that's out there. Is the
Okay.
idea
I
that
mean,
Clemson goes to the SEC.
I think for the SEC, if the Big Ten takes Florida State, this is where I see the SEC going just for certain reasons. I think they'll take UNC, and I think they'll also include Virginia Tech, and North Carolina State. And there's a reason that I say this, because they're both attached to each other. They want those markets, and I think the SEC will use that as a defensive move, and I think it's a bad move for them. I think it's a bad move because nobody gives a shit about North Carolina or Virginia football, and football moves everything. Nobody goes to their games. They don't win anything. It means nothing. So again, I think the SEC is going to make a defensive move off this, and I think they'll take those 4 teams. And I don't think it's going to end well.
You guys really think that North Carolina, North Carolina State, Virginia, and Virginia Tech are all going to the SEC?
Yes, right now, yes.
Really?
Should any look?
That's where I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I
definitely disagree with that. But
okay, well then you tell me what you think. Then who's going to the SEC? Let's discuss.
Well, for one thing, and this is what we're here for. Yeah, of course. The main reason I don't think they do that is they don't want North Carolina State. They don't.
I know that they don't
want Virginia Tech. So,
but I think
I'm almost not even sure they want Virginia. The only one that I'm pretty sure they want is North Carolina. So I can see North Carolina State getting a payoff just similar to California and UCLA. The Calford, whatever they call that, payout or whatever, $10 million to make up the difference between the media values, at least as they are today. SEC doesn't even want to expand, to be honest. They're kind of being nudged in that direction. But my thinking is Sankey doesn't want any more teams. He thinks the smaller and tighter the SEC is, and they still are the top draw, and they're still the top dogs in the industry, they don't need to expand. That's my opinion. I think they're only going to take teams or schools that are targets of opportunity. That's just how I look at the SEC.
I mean, I get that. But for me, I think the 2 prizes for the SEC right now are Virginia and North Carolina, because the SEC lives off markets. Look, that's why they took Missouri. Missouri means nothing.
But they're not
Missouri
doing markets anymore, Jen.
Yeah. But
no, they're not doing markets anymore, though.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because the SEC has lived off of markets.
Right, but it's changing. The demographics have changed, and what actually generates income. Bob Thompson, who's been on our show several times,
I get that.
He says that is not one of the brand value, rivalries, social engagement. How engaged are your fans? These are
then why is North Carolina still wanted?
Because they're the flagship school in an area that, honestly, the Southeastern Conference probably should have gotten a while ago.
Okay, but the only reason anybody would want North Carolina is for a market. It has nothing to do with winning. It has nothing to do with anything else. So
I didn't say it was. Yeah. Okay.
Look, I'm just saying. No, I get that argument. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for the SEC right now, they're looking at markets. That's why they're looking at North Carolina. That's why they're looking at Virginia. And they are. They really are.
I mean, that's been talked about here a lot.
I think that's for recruiting. It's not for eyeballs.
There's no recruiting in North Carolina or Virginia.
Look, we can openly disagree about this. I think and that's I just want to make sure you guys are comfortable with that, because I think they want recruiting grounds. I think they want recruiting grounds and exposure, and North Carolina definitely ticks that mark. Their brand
Well,
is way up here because of their basketball history.
but basketball, okay. Basketball doesn't move the needle like in
But
anything.
yeah, no, they're not. Don't misunderstand. They're not being valued. How do I say this? My tongue is twisted. So North Carolina by itself is a brand, right? When you say North Carolina, people immediately, it's iconic.
Think basketball.
That's
Mhm.
what they're paying for. That's what they would be recruiting for, and that's why they want the areas for recruiting. The TV
Which,
stuff is not what it used to be. It's changed.
yeah. So, I mean, I get that. I get why. I get that about North Carolina, but the truth is basketball doesn't really move that needle. So all I'm saying is with North Carolina and Virginia, the only reason they're wanted is because of their TV market. It's not because of anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I'm saying. I don't
I-
feel like they bring anything else because
Okay,
they really haven't brought anything else.
Let me ask a question. Have you, and this is a great segue actually, we actually did a short on this. I don't know if you've watched any of our shorts, ladies. I will post the link right here so everybody can watch them. The link I'm going to be sharing right now is the main College Football Mafia link that goes to all of our shorts. Let me put it in here so everybody has access to it. All the ones you can see are active and anybody can see them. You don't have to be a member. There is a Georgia Tech one that's currently behind a paywall. If you want to join and become a member of the family, then you can watch that one too. But I would, and I'm not sharing. Duh, Nathan. Sorry, ladies. I'm sorry. I blew that. I should have been having that the whole time. So all of these, Ute goes into the exact details. 6, 7 measurements. Each one has a value. It's a published quantification. Everybody knows the formula we use to do the rankings. I would encourage anybody to watch the Florida State, Clemson, UNC, and University of Miami videos. You watch those videos, and I tell everybody they should be doing it. Then this will tell you where that value comes from. And I'm taking my opinion off of the UNC one because I helped do it. But I would encourage everybody to go to that. And anyways, I'm probably wrong. The ladies are always right. I'm trying to do that more at home. But that's a great
Well, while I normally agree with you,
it's okay.
I mean, I may not be totally right, but I don't see the value in North Carolina and Virginia unless you say it's about markets because there is no value there.
Okay. What we'll do is I have Bob Thompson on next week.
I mean, unless we're going to start talking endowments and then then you'd bring in Stanford.
Don't get it twisted. We're not talking about any Tony Altimore stuff here. No genetics. We are actually talking about real facts and figures. Don't come at me with this socialized crap that they put out. Yeah, go ahead and bookmark that, people. That's what I just said about Tony Altimore.
There's another one. I gotta.
Those are the only two I care about today because they've both attacked me. Anyways, I think when you look at data, as you guys know, especially in legal terms, every word has a meaning, right? And data can be looked at, the exact same data can be looked at 20 different ways, and all 20 possibly could be accurate. There are such things as alternate facts. Two things can be equal at the same time, but not agree with each other. And in this case, I think that's where we're at. But anyways, I don't know. I can't remember what night I have him on. I need to read his DM again. But I'd love to have you on the show, Jen, and you could talk to him directly and ask him. Because we've been through it top to bottom over the last year, and it's not markets anymore. If it's markets, it's like 4th or 5th on a 7-point scale.
I mean, it can't be anything other than markets for Virginia or for North Carolina to be even considered in anything because
it's brand value. It's the brand.
Virginia has no brand value.
North Carolina. I'm not talking about Virginia.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, North Carolina, maybe North Carolina
an iconic
does.
Brand. It's an iconic brand. It carries a huge value. Bob Thompson, next week we'll book it. I'll make sure we get that on your schedule.
I'm gonna bow out and just let y'all like, 'cause seriously.
Well, that's probably best. Let me get to
I've heard
another.
UNC and Virginia mentioned, so I get what she's saying. But yeah, that's
Well, I think Virginia just sort of got thrown in because we were talking about those together. But it's definitely, I'm only talking about North Carolina.
okay.
Just to
All right.
make that clear. Ryan Willie, $2 super chat, says SEC takes UNC Clemson. Big takes Notre Dame and SMU. So he's saying Notre Dame finally bites the bullet.
FSU, he said. FSU.
Oh, no, right here. Big takes Notre Dame and SMU.
He said FSU.
And Notre Dame.
Yeah, but you said SMU.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a major faux pas.
Yeah.
There needs to be a buzzer if I ever do that again.
You need
guys
like
need to
those
call
kind
me
of.
out. Yeah, I don't say SMU very often. Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate your comment. My gosh, this time has just flown by. Let me see if I can get to some more of these comments. By the way, my interactions and our show gets so much better when we disagree with each other. Can I just tell you that?
Oh,
I agree. Like I get the same feedback on my show, so I love it.
Absolutely. Timothy Green says, "What about Clemson and Miami both going to the Big 12?" I don't think it's a high percentage, but I think there's a possibility.
I think that's where they're going. I mean, I think that's where Miami's going. I think Clemson possibly has a spot right now, but I think that's where Miami's going. Yes, 100%.
I completely agree.
Is Clemson this is a stupid question. Are they a private or a public school?
They're public, but they have a very low enrollment. That is another problem for Clemson.
Okay.
So, I mean, Clemson has a lot of problems. I really think it's in between Clemson and Miami right now. And that's why I bring in Georgia Tech, because I think it could fall to Georgia Tech because of those reasons.
I'm on the Georgia Tech thing too. I have been.
Okay.
I'm not just saying it. I have been.
Illini Ted following up with you guys' last comments, who's also a member, by the way. I don't think Miami is a standalone Big Ten ad, but similar to Georgia Tech, they could be a strong paired member to a coveted Southeast school. So he's looking for a travel partner for Miami.
Miami needs a travel partner to like win a championship game. Like I don't
know how to answer.
You are just nails against Miami tonight. I don't know.
Like, look, it's not tonight. It's every night because these MF look, Miami does nothing. They do nothing. They win nothing. They've done nothing since 2001. And I'm so tired of them. They are living off of, they make this money because they don't win anything. You know, they got into a conference that they don't deserve. They were in the Big East. Like, they do these 5 rings, right. 5 rings comment when they won them in the Big East. Are you kidding me?
Well, not only that, but you also have to take into consideration that they have a brand value that some people put very highly, right?
Which people?
Well, I don't know. There's lots of people. I think their brand value.
It's not ESPN.
I don't think it's big enough to get into the Big 10 though. I think it's a brand like Fox likes brands like Oregon, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, no offense to Oregon, but you know, Miami actually has championships.
Yeah, well, that's true too. Let's see here.
God, I'm really a mean person. Really? What's going on with me tonight?
The FB Ops Center is expected to cost $116 million. Refinancing existing debt is $122 million, and the Doak renovation is at least $265 million. So now we're talking about the money. I'm guessing from the private equity, maybe, or maybe guesses or estimates. But stadium renovations almost always go over. Look at Nebraska. Do you know what is Dennis talking about? Something that's actually already been financed, or is he talking about this future private equity round?
This is all already under construction.
Okay.
Yeah,
all of
it's
this-
already under construction. It's already been, the budget has been laid out. It's already
Okay.
been taken care of. And the Nebraska person leaving was Trev Alberts, who went to Texas A&M
Yeah.
because Nebraska's losers. I'm sorry, Dennis. This makes no sense and has nothing really to do with the other. But just tell me if I'm wrong.
No,
Florida State, just to
Yeah.
kind of segue into
he's
something
just
else.
talking about the money. He's not really making a statement. Go ahead,
Oh.
Danielle.
Florida State has been, I mean, and I don't know if this is more of a Big Ten signal for everybody. Florida State is not only doing that at the same time that, recently, new College of Business going up, new student union, the EAOS building, EOAS building, that kind of stuff. Like, they're doing it academically too. So it's a lot of, and this actually got brought up to me. I guess that's why I'm segueing into this. This actually got brought up to me last night. They're like, somebody said, you're never leaving the ACC because you can't afford to. I said, do you think Florida State is spending all this money right now to stay?
Right.
In
the
what we're dealing-
reinvestment. Yeah.
They are preparing to leave. And that's why you see everything going on. And then, like I've said before, it is not easy to do what we're doing. If you look at a map of Tallahassee, you have the Capitol, you have the state headquarter buildings, you have FAMU, you have everything right together. Building on, there is no land. There's nowhere to go.
Right.
And that was part of the holdup for this, standalone football facility for a long time. Do we go off, campus and do it, or do we just build on, to the more? What do we do? And we finally figured it out, and we're spending the money. It's called having a good athletic director.
I would agree with that, and managing your money well. The difference is, the case study that people are going to look back on in the future is how all the Pac-12 schools were spending money that they thought they were going to be getting, $50 million per school, and they were selling that for weeks or years, and so they went into huge debt. Arizona, huge debt. Washington, huge debt. Washington State, huge debt. They all went into debt service. Anyway.
Ours are already under construction and financed. From my knowledge.
That's good then. Thanks, Dennis, for the comment. Let's see here. Oh wait, I thought I just cleared that. Hang on. Here's one I want to get to. Oh, Jen's not here. Okay, I'll bring that back when Jen's here. Here's a super chat.
I'm here.
All right. Let me do this with you really quick since you can hear me at least. Fatal Jedi 2672 says, I believe that brand value on Wall Street is very much the same as market value. So you and I might have been talking across each other, but about the same thing. At the end of the day, some of these terms and the way that they collect and try to use them for statistics can get confusing. So you and I could both be right at the same time. That's what Fatal 2672 is saying.
I believe that brand. You know what? No, I don't think so. Brand value on Wall Street is very different than market value. By the way, huge companies can be worth a lot on Wall Street, and you can go into your local grocery store and see that they're worth shit.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, it's not the same. So yeah, like Florida State is worth money to the ACC. There's no question about that. They are the only team other than Clemson worth money to the ACC. Honestly, North Carolina can kiss my ass. NC State can kiss my ass. Miami can kiss it too. All of them. Y'all don't make any money. No money. Nobody cares. Nobody watches. Nobody gives a crap. Nobody cares about your lacrosse team. Nobody cares about your basketball team either. Because y'all haven't been doing anything in basketball either, North Carolina and Duke, by the way.
Yeah.
So again, sorry. I'm going off on a tangent again.
No, it's okay. I asked your question. Danielle, do you want to add to that at all?
Nope. What?
Okay.
Jen succinctly puts what I want to say.
All right. Thank you for that past comment. I appreciate it. Here's one of our latest super chats from Ryan Willie for $2. He says, Ute doesn't factor in how many fans buy tickets we went through and made formulas, Ryan, just so you know. We did discuss different things to try to measure, what's publicly available, because we used all the publicly available data. And gate receipts was not something that was common across the country. There wasn't enough commonality in there to include that. But honestly, it would be a very, very, very small percentage compared to what the rest of the value is. I've already said it. At UNC, it's the brand. It's the icon. It's Michael Jordan. That's what they're paying for, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, basketball doesn't move the needle.
No, it's not. Nike does.
Does it?
What? Nike's like a top 5 brand in the world.
No, I get that. But look how much money they're losing in their stock market just within the last 6 months.
Well,
it's not really moving the needle as much as they think it is anymore. And by the way, Oregon's moving the needle is next to nothing.
Yeah.
North Carolina's moving the needle is next to nothing. When was the last time a Michael Jordan jersey got sold?
Yesterday, 5 minutes ago.
That's what I'm saying. When was the last time a LeBron James jersey got sold?
I know, 5 minutes ago. When was the last time the North Carolina jersey?
That's what I'm saying. Is 3 minutes ago.
3 minutes ago.
Look, a day ago is different. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, look, I think Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James. I'm not even on that train at all.
Right.
What I'm saying is the Michael Jordan stuff got sold yesterday. LeBron got sold today. There's a difference in North Carolina's relevance yesterday and today. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. I just disagree.
Okay.
But it's good. It's good we disagree and do it fairly. Do you feel heard? Because I really want to make sure you're getting everything out, and I'm not cutting you off.
I'm fine.
Okay. No, I'm being serious about that. It sounds silly, like kindergarten or something, but I'm really working on my communication skills here at work. And one of the things I'm trying to do,
you're fine. I promise.
I'm trying to validate you.
I'm like the least of the snowflakes you ever have to worry about.
I never said snowflake. Don't twist it. Grand Dan, $2. Sorry, Danielle. Did you want to add anything to that last?
No, I love you guys. I'm just enjoying the banter.
All right. What are the odds? What we're trying to do, to be honest, Jen and I are waiting. This is our tryout for, somebody come along and say, we want to pay for you to have a channel. That's what we're working on right now.
But disagreeing is the best way to get that.
In my opinion, it is. I'm very.
Those are the most popular shows. I'm thrilled.
I am very comfortable disagreeing with everyone. So, Grand Dan.
I disagree with a lot.
I disagree with pretty much everything.
Says, what are the odds? That's why we're all here. What are the odds that FSU joins the SEC? We've talked about this a little bit. We didn't talk odds. Florida State to the FSU. I mean, that's you guys. What Big Ten we think is the nod, but what would be the percentage to the SEC? Danielle,
5%.
5%. Yeah.
And you think 5? Both of you?
I'll say 3. And here's why.
Wow.
Here's why. There's a lot. Here's the thing that people keep getting caught up in with tweets with me and stuff. That it could be 3%, it could be higher. And here's why. It's the relationships. You have to remember, everybody's so focused on this or that. You have to remember ESPN is in control of both the SEC and the ACC GORs. We're suing over the GOR. ESPN is now involved. We're asking for discovery of them. And so the only reason we would join the SEC at this point in my mind is it would be a settlement tactic on behalf of ESPN to come in and say, hey, okay, fine, we'll let you go here, but we still own you. And I think Florida State is moving towards wanting away from the whole situation whatsoever. We don't want to be
turn the page.
We don't want to be in bed with the same snakes. So, otherwise we wouldn't be dragging. I mean, you read the pleadings, the ESPN's not getting, we're bringing them up all over the place too. So, but I think a lot of Florida State fans actually wanted And that's history. I mean, everybody's like, but Belton didn't want to join the SEC, turn it down. You know my rant on that. They'll share half the quote, not the fact that FSU was focusing on basketball at the time too. But I just don't. I think that for speaking of somebody you mentioned earlier who loves to troll and do the things they do on Twitter, that has finally admitted that the relationship is irretrievably broken between FSU and the ACC.
Oh, really? That came out? That
came out. Yeah. I think the same is true of Florida State being involved with ESPN on that level again.
But Danielle, they'll never join. They'll never leave the ACC. Don't you know that?
Never.
You've been told the FSU's they're forever. And
I'm stuck till 2036. I know.
Only going to if they're moving, it's only the SEC.
It's only the SEC.
There's no way they're going to the Big Ten.
No way. We wouldn't be the one that would do something completely contrary to everything else.
That is so stupid.
But it really is. And I don't think people, and this is a completely different aspect. I don't think people understand FSU's history and who we are. We are used to being like, they'll yell when you lose a game, oh, you're conquered now. They'll make fun of the whole unconquered thing. I don't think they understand our history and our legacy is that we are the only Native American tribe that was unconquered and won and was not afraid to pick the right battles to win. And that's our legacy. That's our history. And I could completely see Florida State being the one that busts this all open and going to Fox. Well, now we're talking football and networks, but and bust this all open and goes to Fox and is, that person. So
yeah, I really appreciate FSU's leadership and willingness. The chancellor, everybody there, willingness to take a chance and try to better their school. I think it's awesome.
I do too.
So we're over 2 hours. I never know.
You put me and Jen together is trouble.
All I'm going to say is you guys are East Coast time. I'm Mountain, so it's only 8 for me. But we can go for a little while longer. I can wrap it up now. I was just going to give a last call for super chats if anybody wanted to say anything. But if you guys can go for a little while longer, I've got some more good questions.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Right. Just put your hand up and wave uncle if I don't cut us off before that. Devil Frog, the original guy that helped me come up with the Mafia name. And that goes back over a year now. Thank you so much, Devil. $5, and he's finally a member. That's great to see. Which ACC members are at risk of being relegated like OSU and WSU? We talked about this a little bit. When the Big 12 and SEC go shopping, if any. So unfortunately, we're being asked to name names. So who are the schools that pretty sure 80% chance are going to be left out of that initial move to those other 3 conferences?
At risk of being relegated to OSU.
Oregon State.
I would say at the beginning, I would say Miami, Boston College. I mean,
you wouldn't see Miami.
I think these are pretty obvious to me.
Yeah,
I don't.
You'll end up with one of the Tobacco Road schools too, because
Duke. You think Duke?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Wake, because they're going to take other people.
Right. North Carolina State, Virginia Tech, Louisville.
You'll run into the same argument that the SEC always used, like when they got Mizzou and when they got, started worrying about markets and stuff. We don't need Florida State because we already have UF. You're going to run into that same argument. I know you guys were talking about markets and stuff, but you're going to run into that same argument. Well, we already got UNC. Why are we worried about Wake?
Right.
That kind of stuff. So I think those, and definitely, although Syracuse and Boston College have been oversold on their marketability in the past, those could end up that way too. You might end up with one of them taken by somebody.
I think the Wake Forest, Syracuse, Boston College, Georgia Tech may get the gift of a lifetime invite to the Big Ten, or they could be left out. I think Miami goes to the Big 12 if the other.
That makes the most sense. That makes the most sense.
Anyway, yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, Devil Frog. Appreciate you bringing that up. That was really good. We got another super chat from Tony, who's been very active tonight. Thank you, Tony. Wild Ute University says Wisconsin is a bad ad for the MAC. Tony Lawson just constantly. Oh, brother. That's some comedy right there. Thank you very much, Tony. We appreciate it. All right, let's get to some more. We go back here to the top. Let's see. Adam Lemerize says he does follow us, Jen, so that should make you happy. You too, Danielle.
Oh, he's with her Sports FM up in Baltimore. So I've done their show before. Yeah, that's Adam. He's an awesome friend. He's an awesome
Danielle
guy.
is an awesome friend. Well, we're glad to have you here, Adam. Thank you very much for coming, and make sure you subscribe. Jared Jones snuck in the back door when I wasn't looking. Monty sucks. All right, again, we're calling out other creators. The first two
they're not wrong about that.
The guys I mentioned a little bit ago, I don't even count them as creators. They're disruptors, in my opinion.
I think Monty is that too.
Monty is he's one of those. He's dog chases car, right? He's very
much. I think with Monty when he called me FSU Barbie.
Did he? You actually got a nickname. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm kind of over Monty. He's really dumb. And I would think if somebody wanted to be that big of a waste of space, they wouldn't be unattractive.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Boy.
Like, I feel like if you want to just be an asshole,
I'm staying
you should probably be really good looking. And for him to call me like FSU Barbie, I mean, great. But like, could you be right about one thing you talk about? Could you not be a misogynist every once in a while? That would be nice.
Okay, so what I need is like a screen protector or something I can put up.
You probably should.
I could turn my camera off. I hadn't even thought about that.
Hey, by the way, you asked for this.
I did. I had no idea that was a loaded statement. It's my own fault.
Yeah, Monty is awful to me. I think he's really mean. I think he devalues any woman's opinion on his show.
Right.
And I also think that the fact that I, called him out on his bullshit, he got really mad and called me FSU Barbie.
Well, yeah, you have every right. I'm not going to take away that, and I'm glad you got that off your chest. We'll do that again if you want to. You bet, of course. Front runner says Dennis Dodd said that the SEC and Big Ten don't want FSU on 365 Sports. All I will say is this, and by the way, I tip my hat to David Smoke, his son, Paul Catalina at 365. They're a great bunch. I've talked to David.
Oh yeah, I love 365.
And Craig, and they're really good guys. Paul's they know who I am. Great guys, but since Dennis Dodd he made all the wrong choices in the Pac-12 projections. At the very end, he made all the wrong predictions until very, very late. He's lost all his sources. Like, a lot of his stuff now seems to be more on the line of, I'll put it out there to try to get engagement, and maybe he'll get some traction. I don't know. I like Dennis Dodd. I've talked to him. I'm just a little confused by some of his sourcing lately. There's been some odd declarations. This SEC big Florida State not going to one of them, I think, is just silly.
That's insane. But also, I think this is more of a most media doesn't call the schools going to certain conferences until it's the night before.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, he might have sources, but he doesn't have sources that tell him when it's actually going on.
That's true. Yep.
So everybody knows the moment that a new conference or a conference adds a new member, it comes out the moment it's happening. It's like not a week before. It's not a month before. It's not a year before. It is when it's happening.
The Pac-12 was about 12 hours.
Yep.
With Colorado.
Yeah, that's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Dennis Dodd can have all his information he wants, but you guys have been right on everything else you talked about, and guess what happens? those schools get added, and then Dennis Dodd puts out his thing. Oh, guess what? Oregon's being added to the Big Ten. I mean, yeah, of course.
I just want to go back to what I said at the beginning. I've always enjoyed his articles, his writing. I think he's an excellent writer and journalist. I just think some of these projections recently I question. Just to be very clear. Danielle, did you want to add anything to that?
I just think that depending on the media outlet right now, you're starting to see some media kind of change the narrative where FSU is not necessarily the bullies anymore. We may actually have a point after all. And then you're seeing some dig in and say, I think that they're both going to follow and get heavier on their opinions heading into the 322 hearing. So I think it's just going to pick up. It's almost like a scare tactic. I don't think Florida State's scared. I don't think about where we're going to land. I don't think we would have filed a lawsuit if we were.
No.
Doug Rohan joined for a minute. Doug, if you wanted to join the show, I'm sorry I got to you so late. You could still do it. We're going to be here for a few more minutes. If you want to join and say, hey, just send me a DM. Cleveland Rocks, one of our members, says, in your opinion, and he's talking about all of us, what will be the financial change for the Big 12 once they begin to poach ACC teams? What will be their payout? I have an estimated payout, and I do believe it will go up. It all also depends on which schools move. What do you guys think? Does it change at all? Does it stay at the 31-7, or does it move?
I think it moves. I mean,
moves up.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
Because I think the ACC is really going to be more depleted than people are thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the Big 12 will take over as the legitimate third conference. Right now, I think everybody's got this opinion that we know Big and SEC. We got that.
Right.
But right now, it's a battle over. But like I've explained before, the Big 12 handled everything legally very well,
right,
and made sure they're to fight for their teams, and their teams were solidified and stuff like that. And I think they'll do the same, poaching new ACC teams coming in, and it's going to be much better. The ACC is just going to be depleted, and their inept leadership is going to be over for good. So the Big 12 will get some good value teams. So I think it'll go up.
That's fantastic. Jen, what do you think?
Do I think the ACC is going to get value teams?
No.
No, not them.
The teams that go to the Big 12, do they increase the value of the Big 12, or does the value per school stay the same?
I think it depends on what schools they get.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
I think, okay, so if you put a gun to my head right now and said, what teams out of the ACC get out and what teams is the Big 12 stuck trying to, force into there? I do think it's Clemson and I do think it's Miami. Okay. I think the Big 12 is about to get Clemson and Miami. I really do.
Boy, that would be a day off for me.
I 100% do think they're going to get them, because I don't think the SEC or the Big 10 right now consider either team a huge value, right? Okay, but then again, I'm going to have to say that UNC goes to the Big 10, which I think at the end of the day, they do, maybe, possibly, with my prediction here. Yes, I'm going to say UNC, Florida State go to the Big 10. Yeah. Even though I know the chancellor is an SEC guy, but I just don't think UNC wants to give up that money.
So here we go. Jamie Thornton, who I love and is an amazing member of the community, laughing pretty hard if you can go by the emojis, says you guys are so wrong on Clemson. I'm not sure which thing I'm not sure which argument they're saying is wrong, and maybe all of them.
She's not. She's actually joking.
This is a Monty level take. Well,
she's joking
because I didn't say they weren't valuable. I want to make sure everybody knows I didn't say that.
No, I think she's joking.
Okay. All right.
I don't.
Good.
Yeah, I don't
Good.
think anybody here has said Clemson has no value. I mean,
No.
Okay.
by far not the
No,
truth.
Clemson has way more value than like Miami. Absolutely, they do.
Oh God,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Clemson has value. Clemson's issue is where they fall.
Right. Well, and how long they wait to sue. Sometimes, look, the bus might be leaving. It might have 2 seats that are available, but if you're not prepared to get on the bus, you could get left behind. That has happened.
Well, and you're also talking about Dabo, who is
Right.
not in favor of change on the NIL or
Right.
any of that level anyway. So
He's
much
an
less.
interesting guy.
I've talked to, some Clemson people in media there, and there's a genuine part of a lot of them that are mad that we're doing this. I mean, initially, let's go back to January and December.
Right.
I think it's settling in now. Oh, that's why. Because we're right. And I think the college football playoff news actually helped that a lot when they realized. I mean, you can't. One thing people forget is we have a fiduciary responsibility to our school. Just as we're alleging the ACC has breached theirs to us, we have a fiduciary responsibility to Florida State to not sit here and take this.
Right.
Because it's illegal. Clemson has that same fiduciary responsibility. So eventually they're going to have to realize that bus is leaving and you've got to do something for your own program. If not, then you get left behind. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So
100% agree with that. Carrie just stopping in for $5. Thank you so much, Carrie. Hey, guys and gals, just passing through. I've gotten a lot of those. Saying, yeah, here's another good one. Laura Weiss says, get 2 women together and the claws come out. I would say get 2 smart women together.
Do the claws come out? I mean, the claws come out seems like we're attacking each other, though, and we're not.
No,
we're not. Jen and I genuinely agree on so much.
I have this pregnant cat here, and she's just.
Speaking of claws coming out,
pregnant cat attack is what we got.
I'm pretty sure she is.
Let's see here if there's any more. These comments, guys, I'm getting tired. I think you guys are getting tired. Let's wrap this thing up. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. This always happens. I'm getting ready to wrap it up, and I'm around 20 more minutes because they keep doing super chats. John D, thank you so much, who's a member for $2, says UNC value is 40 million plus. B-ball viewers annually. I won't touch the second half of that. I don't want to talk about who the viewers are segmented. I just know that I agree. I think UNC is one of the few that is around. I think Florida State is about 45. If I remember Bob Thompson's numbers, Clemson was close. UNC was right there too. So yeah, you're right, John. Yep.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm not denigrating UNC. I'm just saying they're not Florida State. And I think they're very lucky to be included in this because they really don't do anything.
It's all timing, Jen. It's all timing.
Yeah, I know. I get it. I'm just saying.
Nathan Campbell closes this thing out, says, who's a member, says, Bomber, the current value of the Big 12. So Big 12, 445, what does that mean? Right now, how much it will go up with the new school? Nathan, I'll answer this, but I don't understand your question. Can you clear that up for me really quick before we close that out? I think the question's good. I just don't understand it. Unless you guys understand it. I'm generally dumb, so I probably don't. Yeah, I don't.
You're not.
No, I'm really dumb.
We'll have to get back.
I'm really dumb.
That is so wrong. Yeah, we'll have to. Nathan, ask that question again tomorrow night, and we'll try to discuss it. I just don't know necessarily what you're saying. I think everybody, boy, what a great night. Thursday night, it's an extra show. We don't normally do Thursday nights. But I appreciate everybody being here. Obviously, I appreciate my 2 co-hosts, and Danielle Kelley and Jen Santi. Thank you so much for being here, ladies. Danielle, tell everybody what you do and what's up for you.
Not much. I'm a lawyer here in Tallahassee. Like I said, I am a meteorologist with Real Talk 93.3, and Wave 94.1 FM here in Tallahassee, and I practice law. And you can find me at dkelly21 on Twitter with an EY. I have a lot of opinions.
Opinions are good. Jen, how about you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, or you can find me on the Renegade Report on Fridays, Sundays, Tuesdays. So yeah, come follow me.
I love it. There's some really cool comments coming. I got to get to these before we close out. First of all, Nathan Campbell clarifies. He says the current value is 44.5. I think he's including, obviously, the playoff money and the so college football playoff, and then NCAA credits that the Big 12 gets. I think you're right, Nathan. That sounds about right. From what I remember in the spring, and I might have this wrong, so please don't quote me, or certainly feel free to correct me. I think with the new contract and all the additions, especially the basketball that we're doing really well in the Big 12, I think it's supposed to be somewhere between 50 and 55 in the next year or two. So, that's really good. Unfortunately, in the same time frame, the Big Ten's going to be making 120 per school. Just let that sink in. That's where we're at. And yeah, I'm not sure what this is going to do to college football. I honestly am a little hesitant to see the future here. Meme says, what area of law do you practice, Danielle?
Right now I'm general civil. I don't do criminal defense right now. I'm just general civil, contract law, real estate, wills, trusts, stuff like that. Family law somewhat, but pretty much, like I said, just general civil.
Excellent. I'm just looking for any other comments. Nathan Campbell says, add new TV partners to that. I did. I'm thinking I'm doing that. I tell you what, come tomorrow night on the show. The whole team will be there and we'll talk about it. I don't think it's much more than I said. I might be off, but anyway, I'm part here, so I think I'm doing okay. Anyway, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for everybody that's participated, and we really encourage you to join us tomorrow night at 7 Eastern. Other than that, find Jen on Renegade Report, and Danielle is bouncing all over the place. But Danielle, I'm not going to let you go. We're going to do that other thing we've been talking about, okay?
Absolutely. I'm telling you, let's do that, and then Jen and I just need to do a show too. Honestly, at this point, it would be a blast.
Well, for me, and I don't know what your schedule is, but Jen, I've already booked Jen for Wednesday nights.
Okay. No, so I'm telling you, I'm down.
So if you can do Wednesday nights, then we'll just make it a threesome.
Hey,
take that out of context.
I
apologize. Please don't send me DMs. I don't want to hear any of that crap. I have complete respect for these smart women. I don't even want to deal with any of that. All right? Happily married 33 years. How about that?
There you go.
Wait, you've been married 33 years? Yes. I love this. Every minute of it. Every minute of it.
There's somebody that's been willing to, take all the crap I give them all the time. Anyways, she's a sweetheart, and I appreciate her. You guys are doing great tonight. Appreciate all your hard work. Everybody stick around and follow us tomorrow night on our shows. And have a great weekend if this is the last time we see you. Other than that, we're going to sign off. And Jen and Danielle, stick around until after I close it, would you?
Of course.
All right. Thank you. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow night. Peace.